It is Webb Wednesday. I'm Luc Bichard, and this video series is about how an HR peer advisory forum group is similar to the James Webb Space Telescope. I still love this. This doesn't get old. So, this video is going to be a bit longer because I'm going to actually give a bit of a history lesson on Canada's involvement to the aerospace industry, and we're going to be talking about a very dark time in our history when it came to our contribution to the aerospace industry. And it goes back to February 20th, 1959, and it has to do with this, the CF-105 Aero made by Avro Canada, commonly known as the Avro Aero. This interceptor was a monster. It could fly at Mach 2, which was not common at the day. It was robust, it was sturdy, and its job was to intercept the bombers coming from Russia during the Cold War to stop them from bombing the United States. So that's what its purpose was. It was for Canadian sovereignty. And on February 20th, almost exactly 64 years ago, the Diefenbaker government canceled it. Why did they cancel it? Well, it suggested it was to appease the Americans because the Americans didn't want us to have our own jet fighters. They wanted us to basically buy theirs. So it got canceled, and that's a very sad day because we lost, there was, like 25,000 jobs that were contributing to the development of this. And when it got canceled, a lot of the aerospace engineers that were working on it went to the States. There was no jobs here for them. So where did they go? They went to Boeing, they went to Lockheed Martin, and they went to NASA. And so we had this massive brain drain of all this talent, all these engineers that went to the United States to basically work on the programs down there. And that has been another contribution that we don't really talk about to the aerospace industry, where we lost all this talent that went down to the States. Okay, so that's my history lesson on the Canadian aerospace industry. Now I want to talk about and bring it back into the James Webb Space Telescope. There are three aerospace agencies that are working on the JWST: the European Space Agency, the Canadian Space Agency, and of course NASA. And Canada's contribution to the JWST was just short of $200 million. Would you like to take a guess as to what percentage of the total budget of that was? 5. That $200 million only covered 5% of the total budget for the James Webb Telescope. And that means we get to use it 5% of the time. So I'm sure you're asking yourself, well, that's fine and good, Luke, but what does that have to do with the James Webb Space Telescope and a peer advisory forum by REF? Well, the reference to it is the fact that when you join a HR peer advisory forum by REF, you can actually access money from the Alberta job grants. And they're not going to pay 5%, 10%, 20%. They're going to pay a whopping 66% of the total cost of this that you can have access to. 66%. Isn't it nice to know that the Alberta and the Canadian government is investing in your personal and professional development? Certainly feels pretty good to me. So no, it's not a low 5%, it's a lot more, and you should take part of it. You should actually check it out. And if you want to find out more, give me a call at this number that pops up somewhere here. I'm Luc Bichard. Thanks so much for watching this video, and we should all be proud as Canadians of our contribution, besides the Canadarm, besides Mark Garneau, but what we were able to bring and how, unfortunately, we lost a lot of talent to the United States because it wasn't valued here in Canada. You take care, and another Webb Wednesday video coming out in a week.